Hey, this is Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The accumulation of future assets for the Oakland Raiders continued yesterday with the acquisition of a first-round pick from the Cowboys in exchange for wide receiver Amari Cooper. Cooper was the number 4 overall pick in the 2015 draft. He had 22 catches for 280 yards and a touchdown in 6 games for Oakland this season. He has 1 year left on his rookie contract. The Falcons beat the Giants 23-20 last night in Atlanta to finish up Week 7 of the NFL season. The World Series kicks off tonight with Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers visiting Chris Sale and the Red Sox. And the Kings are back in action tonight against Denver to take on the undefeated Nuggets. We'll have coverage for you right here on Sports 1140. Game night, 4:30. Kings Live, 5:30. Tip-off with the G-Man, 6 o'clock. Those are your top stories. Now it's back to the drive on Sports 1140. KHT. Okay.
Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
I'm not letting you go to work today.
Wait, what? Everybody, listen up.
Welcome to The Drive.
Morning, morning, morning. You're gonna talk.
Get on the phone at 339-1140.
Pretty awesome, huh?
Jump in on our text line at 441140.
Everyone is talking about it. You must know that.
The Drive starts now.
Matt Barrows of The Athletic will join us in a couple minutes. All guests via the Firewings hotline, 21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com, just wing it. Greg Vaughn will join us at 8:35 to talk World Series. Before we get to Matt Barrows, Kyle, according to Marcus Thompson, the second, writer for The Athletic as well.
MT2, he's great.
Derek Carr currently has a fractured relationship with his teammates. The reportedly fractured relationship is rooted in a loss of confidence in the quarterback, exacerbated by game film from the London contest against the Seahawks that showed what looked like him crying after being sacked and injuring his arm. Thompson wrote, quote, "They saw his face. They heard him whimper. They witnessed him explain on the sidelines. They assuredly watched it again in film session. It's hard to see how Derek Carr can ever lead this team again." As somebody who goes by the Twitter handle Raiders Beat, so very well put. Just a guess, but any players questioning Carr's toughness were probably added to the roster well after he played through a broken finger, a broken back. As a matter of fact, some of Derek Carr's injuries are as follows: broken pinky on his throwing hand, sprained thumb on his throwing hand, grade 2 sprain of his MCL, grade 3 high ankle sprain, grade 1 concussion, bruised ribs and chest, 3 broken bones in his back, and a broken fibula. He's missed a grand total of 2 career games. I don't know.
Wow.
It's like I don't want to. We got to get to Maddie here in a second. I don't want to get to the whole like, hey, it's okay to cry.
It is.
But it's like, listen, I am.
Your masculinity should not be challenged for that.
I am older school than you, yet younger school than a lot of people. Okay. In other words, I fall in the middle of that spectrum.
Okay. Someone say you sit on the fence.
There you go. I am a fence sitter.
You're a fence sit.
In this case, because I oftentimes will see both sides. I understand the masculinity of an NFL locker room. I understand the rah, 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 and the bashing of heads and beating of chests, and I get it. And I don't need that to go away. That's football. I'm fine with it.
It is a necessity to play a violent game.
You're modern-day gladiators, basically. Yes. You're going out there and you're ramming into each other at 100 miles an hour in elite athletic bodies, concussing each other, trying to throw a football around. I get it. It's fine. But it reminds me of when video of Luke Kuechly was going around when Kuechly got knocked silly and was coming off the field sobbing as the result of his brain being violently thrown around his skull and not knowing where the hell he was. And Luke Kuechly came back and played football after that. I mean, it's just the whole thing about toughness and if you're crying. I don't get it. I want to go to those guys that think that Derek Carr crying isn't tough, and be like, dude, you want to talk about? I mean, let's have a real conversation about toughness. You want to talk about toughness? Toughness is walking. I'm going to go real hardcore on the other side here. Toughness is looking at the firefighters and cops that walked out of the 9/11 buildings and lost a lot of their loved ones, and they were crying. Are they not? Are they not tough? Is that not tough? If you want,
I want to drag it back here because that's going extreme.
Let me drag it back on my own here because I want to bring it back. Toughness is measured in many different ways. Playing football, you got to be tough, but you're playing a game. Toughness is being a first responder. Toughness is getting through cancer. There are many measures of toughness. And when you see a guy who's gone through all that and he's shedding a couple tears of frustration, anger, he's in legit pain, and you can't be led by this guy? Okay.
Yeah, and I think there was an accumulation to a frustration there as well, just from this season in that game. I imagine when every time you drop back, you're getting knocked down. It's probably annoying.
Yeah. I mean, how many people, I understand you grow older. We'll get Matt Barrows on the phone now. I understand you get older and you grow out of some things, but God, how many people listening right now, and I'll throw myself in there, I was an angry crier as a kid. I didn't cry much from pain. I cried from anger. If I'd strike out in Little League, that's when I'd cry if I cried. I once got knocked out of the first round of a spelling bee in 4th grade. I still remember crying. I remember wearing a hooded sweatshirt, a hooded zip-up sweatshirt. It was red with little soccer patches on it. And I misspelled symbol like an idiot. And you have to sit there on stage while all the other people in the round go before you can walk off. And I put my hood over my face, and I tied it super tight so you couldn't see my face. I was crying. You got a guy who's got a broken back, who's getting beat up all over the place, who's breaking fingers and legs and still playing. That's your problem? I'd rather have a guy show his emotion and then show me what he's got when he comes back on the field, when he wipes himself, he wipes the dirt off his face, wipes himself off, and gets up. That's tough to me. Nobody's going to fake crying on a football field. That's real emotion. That's real pain. And you go back in the game knowing that you're going back into an offensive line that can't protect you. That's tough to me. I would celebrate that. He cares. It's not just about the money. Kyle said something in my ear. Joining us right now on the drive. What's his official title? Because it broke up.
This is the commissioner of Crap Fest 2018.
Oh, I got you. That's what it says on his business cards.
Yes.
I thought you said Crab Fest, and I got interested. Like, is there a crab feed? Because I'm there. It's Matt Barrows of The Athletic. Hello, Matthew.
Oh, hey, guys. Yeah, Crab Fest 18. That would really sell tickets. Crab Fest 18. I don't know. I don't know how many people are dying to go to Crab Fest. But guys, we've got 3 straight weeks of Crab Fest 18 coming up. We got I got Arizona Cardinals for you, and then after that we've got Oakland Raiders, and then after that, if anybody watched the Giants last night, we've got the New York Giants. So some really great bands coming up in the next 3 weeks.
It's interesting there because as a Niner fan, Matt, I'm a Niner fan. I don't know what I want him to do. Part of me wants him to lose all 3 games, draft pick time. The other part of me goes, I'll get a win or two. And we felt this way last year, and then Jimmy G comes in and does his thing, and everybody went into the offseason feeling good. This is going to be a crap fest over the next 3 weeks, mentally as well as on the field.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean, I was pretty surprised that they lost to the Cardinals that first go-around at home. Remember, that was Josh Rosen's first start on the road, and rookie quarterback. They were terrible, and they were terrible in the game, the Cardinals were, and they still beat the 49ers. So, I expect usually after really bad games like the 49ers had against the Rams, teams will bounce back, and there'll be some modicum of pride, and they will end up winning the next game, especially against a beatable opponent. So that's what I expect from the 49ers. But, boy, they've surprised me by how bad they can be this season. And that's just it. I mean, they'll look pretty good one week, and then they'll look really, really awful the next. And that's the mark of a bad team. That's what has, I think, fans so upset, is that this is reminiscent of some of the bad teams that they're very familiar with from previous years. Teams that can't maintain any semblance of momentum, that play to the quality of the opponent and get blown out early by really good opponents. So we've seen that in previous years with the Seahawks and the 49ers. Now we're seeing it with the Rams and the 49ers.
Hey, the good news is you get to go to Glendale, Arizona this week, so get excited.
That's true.
How much of the 49ers issues, everybody knows about the turnovers. They've been so bad in that category. How much of their issues do you think have to do with injuries, though? There's obviously the injuries to McKinnick and Garoppolo, but they've got a lot of guys playing banged up, too.
That's true. I mean, but that's part of it. I mean, that's part of being a bad team. You're just snake bit. You're unlucky, and these injuries, there have been a lot of them, and they always seem to come in bunches to one position group. Like it's one week, it's all three offensive linemen are hurt. The next week, it's Pierre Garçon and Marquise Goodwin and Dante Pettis are hurt at wide receiver. Most recently, it's been the cornerbacks who have gotten the bug at the same time. Now it's the safeties. So, like I said, they don't spread the injuries around. They seem to happen to one specific group, and that's been an issue, too. That's what kept this team from bringing in a quarterback for all those weeks, and finally they've been able to have Tom Savage on the roster, basically running the scout team and picking up the offense as best he can. But they've been very unlucky. This goes back to last year too, and you start to wonder, okay, what's the trend? What's the theme with this? Is it how they draft? Is it their training procedure? What is it? I don't know the answer to it, but it does raise that question.
What's going on with Reuben Foster? We had another invisible game the other day. Is there an injury? Is he just off?
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that it's what plagued the entire squad, and maybe him a little bit more acutely, is that they're working on a short week. That trip to Green Bay is not an easy one. It's hard to get back to it. It might have been hard to recover for all these guys, and Reuben Foster was at the forefront. He just did not play with any electricity. He was missing tackles. Both he and Fred Warner, the other starting inside linebacker, were filling the wrong gaps. They were they fell victim to what any team that plays the Rams offense does, where the Rams have you going in one direction, and then they end up moving the play in the opposite direction, which is understandable. But the 49ers practice against that very offense all off season. It shouldn't have been such a shock to them. It shouldn't have been so foreign. And they shouldn't have been on roller skates like they were a lot of that game, and that's what happened.
Matt Barrows of The Athletic joining us. You can check his work out at theathletic.com right there on the 49er page. And one of the articles you have up, I think it's very apropos to this 1-6 start, the sophomore slump, that 2017 draft class, and you got guys like Reuben Foster, Killa Witherspoon, and you also mentioned in there, obviously, George Kittle is the exception. We'll get to him in a second, but it's almost like the entire team's slumping. It's not limited to that draft class, but is this cause for long-term future concern, do you think, or is it just a situation where the whole team stinks, so does last year's draft class?
Well, yeah, I mean, that was going to be the building block. It was that draft class all last year got a lot of positive praise. And, when Jimmy Garoppolo came in, this team started winning because of him largely. But it was also because that draft class had started to really kind of build some momentum. They had won that Week 10 game against the Giants. Things were looking up, and it was that youth that added a little bit of vigor to the team. Even though they were losing, they were an energetic team. They were showing some improvement. Trent Taylor looked good. Adrian Colbert had come in, and he had started to play well. All of that looked positive, and now that foundation has all sorts of cracks in it. That harkens back to this Shanahan-Lynch regime that looked so positive last year. And now, people are starting to wonder, okay, these are the guys that this duo drafted, and all of a sudden, it's gotten tarnished. It seems so polished and promising just a year ago. It doesn't look good at all. So it starts to raise questions about, okay, are they drafting the wrong guys? Are they going after the wrong guys in free agency? This and that. It just undermines the whole momentum that we were talking about last year. And I think that draft class epitomizes it. I thought that as Shanahan says in this story that you're referencing, Colbert had his best game just before he got injured. And I thought that Ahkello Witherspoon did too. I mean, Witherspoon seemed to really bounce back from. There's no other way to put it. The coaching staff sent him a message by not playing him on defense in that game against the Packers, and he played well against the Rams. And so I think that's promising. Maybe he's back on that track that he was on at the end of last season. But for the most part, boy, that draft class has not lived up to expectations. Instead of a second-year leap, it's been a very much a sophomore slump.
We started a little bit looking kind of towards the draft as the 49ers hit that 1-6 mark. Do you think an edge rusher could alleviate a lot of the issues they have on their, or relieve some of the issues they have on defense?
Yeah, I mean, I do. It's why they went so strongly after Khalil Mack. I mean, it does solve a lot of your issues. You've got an edge rush, and all of a sudden your cornerback issues aren't as great as they are. So, I mean, but to me, I think that they've got to bring in two at some point, either through free agency and the draft, a trade and free agency, et cetera. Any way you slice it, I think that position needs to be bulked up twofold. So I think it goes beyond the draft. This is a very good draft class for that position, even if they don't have the number one pick and Nick Bosa. I think that there are some good ones that they can have, a little bit further down. And it also, where they land in draft position also brings up an interesting scenario, and I'm sure it'll get talked about ad nauseum in the winter and the spring, is that if they're at the top and there's only one really good quarterback to be had, and I think it's the Oregon kid, maybe they work a trade for a team. Maybe the Denver Broncos, and the familiarity the two front offices have, are the team that wants to come up and get that quarterback, and that gives them extra draft picks because of that, the trade that triggers. So I think that they'll be in a good spot for doing that, as well as getting that edge rusher.
Matt, you've seen them both. Who impressed you more, the Chiefs or the Rams?
Boy, I mean, the 49ers played a little bit better against the Chiefs, I thought, certainly in the second half, than they did against the Rams. But, just the way the Chiefs were able to score with such a flourish, I thought that was impressive. At that point in the season, Patrick Mahomes was still a bit of a mystery. I think that was week 3. So he was a bit of a revelation for, I think, a lot of people in that game. And so I'd have to go with the Chiefs. But, boy, that's going to be a very good game coming up. I think it's in Mexico City, and I think that's probably what everybody is envisioning as a possible Super Bowl. I know the NFL was probably giddy over the prospect of Chiefs-Rams in Atlanta.
We were talking about the Raiders a little bit earlier and some of the moves they're making, and and the idea of putting young players in towards the end of a season to kind of see what a team's working with. The 49ers are sort of forced to do that with DJ Reed at free safety. Do you anticipate them doing that at any other positions?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Tarvarius Moore, he was the cornerback that they drafted in the third round. He played safety in college, and they're transitioning to cornerback. I think he's a guy that gets more snaps as the year goes on. Julian Taylor, the seventh-round pick, has been a healthy scratch for every game so far. I think he'll get more snaps. Richie James, I mean, to me that's a question mark why he hasn't played more to this point. Trent Taylor obviously is struggling with a back injury. I think it's only a matter of time before James starts getting a lot of those slot receiver snaps that Taylor's getting right now. Just watching Taylor out there, he's just not the same guy as he was last year. Doesn't have that quickness, that change of direction that made him so valuable on third downs, and I think it has everything to do with the back injury that he's dealing with.
Matt Barrows writes for The Athletic, does a wonderful job there. Just go to theathletic.com. You can customize everything like I do with the Niners, Giants, Sacramento Kings, and Raiders. You can keep everything right where you want it. It's a clean layout. You can not only rate the articles, which please go from right to left, but also look at all the comments below. And please do go there, subscribe. It's so very cheap, and read all that Matt Barrows and his friends have to offer. Matty, appreciate the time. Let's have some fun the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually raised our draft guru into my little, athletic thing that pops up immediately because it's become so pertinent for this team. So that's another thing that people can add and read about who are the top prospects in the upcoming draft.
Love it. You're the man. We're right on schedule with those trains. It's been a few weeks now. No.
We haven't gotten the methadone clinic toot from the trains in a while. I don't know what's going on.
Did you say crap guru?
Crap. The commissioner.
Commissioner of crap.
The draft guru.
Oh,
you say
there
that,
it is.
yes, we
draft
hope
guru.
it's not
Got
crap.
it.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Matty,
Draft Fest 18, guys.
We'll
see you there.
See you, buddy. Take care. That's it's Matt Barrows. Always doing a good job with us each and every Tuesday. Real quick before we break, I thought of something completely random last night, Kyle. Is there anything in American sports like Green Bay? Like, how random is that? We just kind of take it for granted. Green Bay's not near anything.
Like a small...
I thought it was like a suburb of Milwaukee.
No, it's way out
It's
there.
2 hours away.
I'll have to think about it. I'm sure
There are about 300,000 people in the greater Green Bay area, 100,000 people. It's the third largest city in Wisconsin.
Glendale.
Behind Milwaukee and Madison. They are we know the stories about season tickets and how you basically need to sign up now and maybe your great-grandkids will get tickets. What I didn't know, did you know that Green Bay was once known as the toilet paper capital of the world?
I did not know that.
Many paper industries in there. In fact, the Northern Paper Company in the early 1930s. This is, you want to talk about the light bulb, the telephone, the iPod, which was created on this day a few years back. The Northern Paper Company offered the first splinter-free toilet paper.
Oh,
I'm reading it right here, buddy. In the 1930s.
Thank you.
Bob Northern or whoever your name is, God bless you for that. One last note. How great is this? The Green Bay Police Department was established on August 27th, 1857. Since the establishment of that police department, one police officer has passed away in the line of duty. Now, granted, that's one too many, but since 1857, and there's still it's not like there's 4 people there. There's 300,000 people there. You want to talk about a safe city? And they've got an NFL football team. That's amazing to me. I just really went down this rabbit hole with Green Bay last night. There is nothing like that in American sports.
nope.
It's a great story. We'll take a break. Greg Vaughn's a great story. He's doing a lot of charity stuff going on. We want to fill you in on all that. Also, the World Series is coming up. Greg Vaughn knows a little bit about that. The Drive coming up shortly. Sports 1140 KHTK.
Hey, it's Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Raiders traded Amari Cooper to the Dallas Cowboys yesterday in exchange for a first-round pick. Cooper has 22 catches for 280 yards and 1 touchdown in 6 games this season. He has 1 year left on his rookie contract after being taken number 4 overall in the 2015 draft. Nope, let it roll. Yep, nope, just let it ride. The Falcons beat the Giants 23-20 last night in Atlanta to wrap up Week 7 of the NFL season. The World Series kicks off tonight with the Dodgers visiting the Red Sox. Clayton Kershaw on the mound for L.A. against Chris Sale of the Red Sox. And the Kings are back in action tonight in Denver against the undefeated Nuggets. We'll have coverage for you right here on Sports 1140. Hey, hiccups are contagious. Don't do that. Beginning with game night at 4:30, Kings live at 5:30, and tip-off set for 6 o'clock. Those are your top hiccups, and now it's back to the drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Got the hiccups.
Here we go. The drive continues now.
You know, all these years, I'm knocking on wood here. You know what? Screw it. I'm not knocking on wood at all. If it happens, it happens. I was thinking about this the other day. I've never, ever gotten the hiccups on the air. And let me tell you something, dude. If I do, I don't get the hiccups that often. And my poor son, when he was a baby, used to piss him off when he'd get the hiccups. If I get the hiccups, it will last for about a half an hour. It doesn't go away. It's a long haul. If I get the hiccups, it's over. By the way, developing story. We hit this Derek Carr thing. Derek Carr, as reported by Marcus Thompson, the second of The Athletic, picked up by Pro Football Talk, that there's a fractured relationship in the locker room and that teammates looking at game film in Seattle, and you saw the picture going around. It looked like Derek Carr was crying on the ground after a hit. Derek Carr's brother, who's a head football coach at Bakersfield Christian High School currently, responded to that with he listed out, and we read it, the amount of times that he had been injured. And Derek Carr responded to his brother's tweet, quote, "Don't even waste your time with this, big brother. On the ground, I yelled, 'Get me up, get me up.' Then I got to the sideline and yelled again. Not one tear, not one time. There is the truth. People will click on it because it sounds crazy, but stop playing with me." He went on to say, "I'm a Raider. It's not a popular thing to be a Raider right now, but I am, and I love it. I love the struggle of trying to fight back for our city when not a lot of people believe in us. People can try all they want to tear us apart, but it's not happening to the real ones." It's very interesting what's going on right now in Raiderland with Derek Carr. Joining us right now, a real friend, a guy that I grew up watching and admiring, as you would anybody from Sacramento who made it big. And then I've had the pleasure of getting to know this guy. You couldn't ask for a nicer dude, both on and, well, I don't know about on the field, but off the field for sure. And he is very, very active here in our community trying to make it better, and there's nothing I respect more than that. It is Greg Vaughn. Greg, it's Dave and Kyle. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, Dave? How are you, bud?
Man, I'm doing good. How about yourself? Up early this morning, and you're doing some good stuff for charity, I hear.
Yeah, up and about, trying to, like I said, dude, just, I've been blessed, so just trying to play it forward. So, sometimes you got to get up early besides, to play golf.
Yeah, which if anybody knows, Greg can absolutely smash the ball. It's like he played sports and hit balls for a living once upon a time. That being said, you got a couple of things coming up, one involving golf, and then I know we have some mutual friends working on this hard as well. You've got a comedy show coming up, so tell everybody what you're doing.
Yeah, just another way to try to, make it exciting for, the celebrities that are coming into town for the golf tournament, which is sold out. Which I'm thankful for, but the comedy show I'm a little nervous about, it's my first time ever putting on something like this, so it's a little bit gut-wrenching at the same time, nerve-wracking because, want to make sure that comedians have a good time and you want to make sure a lot of people show up to support them, and for me, it's a cause that's close to my heart, type 1 diabetes, my oldest son, Corey, has it. And I didn't know how many people were really affected until he got the disease, and just making people aware and trying to find a cure.
And you and I have had this conversation before. My mother's been diabetic since I was born. It's something that a lot of people forget about or don't pay attention to, but can be a very devastating disease with a lot of other things that can be attached to diabetes that can also complicate the issue. And Greg Vaughn, I want to let you know, Greg Vaughn 23, that's VAUGHN 23, GregVaughn23.com. You can get all the information on the golf tournament and the comedy show, as a matter of fact, the third annual golf tournament. And some of these comedians are hilarious. Fellow Sacramento native Tony Roberts will be on. You've seen him at Showtime. Buddy Lewis, who's been on Jamie Foxx's Laugh-A-Palooza, Def Comedy Jam, Alex Thomas, all that going on this Thursday up at Thunder Valley Casino. How long is your set going to be, and have you done stand-up comedy before, Greg?
It depends who you ask. You know what I mean? I guess if you ask somebody, I've had whole state take me before. Playing baseball. So, not really. And I'm just, like I said, for me, I'm a little nervous, but at the same time, hopefully, it's just something else that hopefully put Sacramento on the map. Something to do on a Thursday night and for a good cause. I have a lot of friends that call me up. I'm like, I don't have tickets. Everything's online. This is for, trying to make a difference, trying to find a cure. Don't call me for tickets. Just like you said, go to the website and, just try to support. And, just my way of trying to play it forward. And hopefully, we can find a cure for this disease, like you said, that's affected you and so many other people.
Yeah, the shout out, because again, we got a lot of the same friends here, and I know I believe a couple of our mutual friends, Jay and Diego, are helping you with this whole thing too. So you got to work 3 times as hard to clean up their messes. But man, 40 bucks get you into the show itself, and then you pop $100 down. You not only get the VIP reception, you get admission to the Comedy Grand Slam, appetizers and drinks. So hey, Greg's rich friends, get off your wallet, help out, donate to a good cause, whether you're his friend or not. It's going to be a fun night with a lot of very, very cool people there. Now, Greg, let me ask you, because I can't talk to you and not ask. World Series tonight, Dodgers and Red Sox. One thing I've never asked you growing up in Sacramento, what team did you pull for as a kid?
Oh, Giants, no doubt. I'm San Francisco. Yeah. Now, I hated the Dodgers, and my cousin Jerry Royster played for him, and I still hated the Dodgers. You know what I mean? It's just something about him. I don't know why. And then being playing in San Diego gave me more reason to hate him. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It's just like, being a Cowboy fan. I can't stand the Cowboys either. You know what I mean? I don't know why. It's just Cowboys and Dodgers. Maybe the Blues a little different, but those two teams, I'm not. And I have friends that have played for them. Don't get me wrong. It's just something about Dodgers and the Cowboys that rub me the wrong way.
Because you're a smart person, and that's the correct answer on all counts, because the Dodgers stink. And I would imagine in this series, too, I could be wrong here, I'm guessing, but a lot of people don't realize, too, in addition to Jerry Royster being your cousin, you're also cousins with Mo Vaughn, formerly of the Red Sox. Does that factor in at all when you're looking at this series, that you want to see your kid cousin, his alma mater, win one as well?
No, you know what? I think I'm pulling for the Red Sox, and like I said, it's nothing against it's more against the fans. You know what I mean? Because the Cowboys win one game, you got to hear them talk for 2 weeks. The Dodgers, you got to hear them talk.
Yep.
I don't know. So I am pulling for I'm a National League guy because I love the game's faster. The strategy. All the stuff that goes into it. But, I'm pulling for the Red Sox. I hate to say it, but I'm not a big Red Sox fan either because, their fans are a little obnoxious also. So, but I'm pulling for the Red Sox over the Dodgers. Yeah, for sure.
It's so
fun. Yeah. I don't know. Because the manager of the Dodgers is a good friend of mine, and it's a tough one, but go Sox.
4-time All-Star Greg Vaughn, one of, to me, the 5 most intimidating guys I would not want to pitch against growing up. Not only Greg, but Mo Vaughn, who we just mentioned, Eric Davis, Albert Bell and Gary Sheffield are the guys that I would just flat out start crying and walk off a mound if I ever had to pitch against them. He's got a lot of stuff going on, including the Greg Vaughn Comedy Grand Slam benefiting the junior diabetes group. This is a tremendous cause. You can go to Greg Vaughn, that's Greg Vaughn, VAUGHN 23.com, and get all the information, not just for the golf tournament itself, but also the comedy show this Thursday, October 25th. I know you've got a lot of stuff going on this morning as you're out working hard to plug all this, but it's a good cause, man. It's one near and dear to my heart. I've played in your tournaments before. They're always a blast, and good luck out there this Thursday, my man.
Hey, thank you very much, and thank you for having me on. I consider you a dear friend, and we do hang out a lot and have a lot of mutual friends, and that's what makes me proud. 916 for life.
916 for life. Let's get that 916 back on the golf course here soon, and I'll let you beat my ass for 4.5 hours. But it's fun for me because I can go home and say I got my ass kicked, but it was by a pro athlete. So we got to do that soon.
Yeah, you know what I tell people all the time? I say, baseball players should be good. I tell them foul balls count in golf. You know what I mean? But you have good days and bad days. But yeah, let's get out there.
You got it, buddy. Hey, good job on all this, and I'll talk to you soon, my man.
All right, man. Thank you, man.
All right, G. Take care. That is Greg Vaughn. Good dude. Very few things I like more than people that have made it in this town, out of this town, that come back and take care of stuff here. And Greg Vaughn is one of those guys. Like most athletes that come from here that come back to the 916 and do good things. We'll take a break. When we come back, Kyle says we might have a Nostradamus. Are we going to have a Nostradamus recap?
Rumor confirmed.
Wow. Let's do this then. Coming up next on The Drive, Sports 1140 KHTK. Our thanks to Greg Vaughn for joining us. What's on tap? Brought to you by...
These things that go on the back of your phone that you can hold your phone. What are these called? Pop sockets?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those things.
Pop sockets, the things that go on the back of your phone. They're little oval circles.
Circles.
That let you hold it.
Easier for selfies.
Yeah, pop sockets. They're dumb.
It's actually the reason I have mine
They're dumb.
Is because they have a car mount that goes with it, and it's the easiest car mount ever. And that's very nice for me.
It's just weird. It's weird in your pocket. It's
No, it's not.
I've tried.
I don't even.
I have what I feel is the only accessory everyone should have for a phone, and I do this.
It's a phone wallet.
It's a phone wallet. It's a little wallet. You open it up, and it's got all your credit cards and driver's licenses and whatever.
Yeah, show all that stuff on the camera for
sure. I know,
sure.
right? And then your phone.
What's your social?
Lacking.
Are we doing this?
Let me get to what's on tap here real quick. Of course, you have the Sacramento Kings, Denver Nuggets tonight. Kings looking for 2 in a row. That game starts at 6 o'clock. Pregame at 5:30. G-Man on the call right here on Sports 1140 KHTK. The Nuggets favored by 11. And also in baseball, Game 1 of the World Series, Clayton Kershaw, Chris Sale. That game starts at 5 o'clock, so you're going to have 2 TVs going tonight. If you missed all our World Series coverage today, you can get that at the KHTK app. All of that World Series coverage on demand. I think, what did we do? Spend about 2 hours on the World Series today? It was amazing.
Spent a lot of time on the World Series, breaking down belly button rings,
Yeah,
breaking down Clayton Kershaw's shortcomings.
Do you think the Dodgers win by double digits tonight or single digits tonight?
I think the Red Sox win in 5 games.
I'm going to go 14-0 tonight, Red Sox. I think Dodgers. Jeez. And I'm going to say my prediction for the series, Dodgers in 3.
You know what my favorite thing about this is, about this whole bit, is the fact that in the division series, I was like, man, you're really speaking this Dodgers World Series into existence. Mm-hmm. And you were like, no, I do this every year. It's fine. They're going to choke. Mm-hmm. And then now we're in the World Series and you're switching your vibe.
There's an art to what I do, Kyle.
Yeah, no, for sure.
There's an art to it.
No, for sure, yeah.
Don't speak it. Mm-hmm. Dodgers in 3. Nostradamus from last week. The Raiders did not play. I believe we both started with the 49ers. Did I go first? Well, here we go. Nostradamus, we recorded on Friday. We replay it Tuesday. Let's see how smart or stupid we were. not that difficult, or it shouldn't be. It's going to be a blowout. It's going to be a blowout of pretty decent proportions. I'm going to say I'm going to go with a 41 burger for the Rams. I'm going to say 41. I think the Niners will put up some points, 14 to be exact. Give me a rushing touchdown by somebody. Give me a C.J. Beathard, Marquise Goodwin touchdown. I don't know. Give me 2 C.J. Beathard picks. Jared Goff. I'm going to go with 4 touchdowns from him through the air. Todd Gurley, a couple on the ground, and 2 for Todd Gurley, 3 for Goff, and I don't know where the hell else they'll get it. 41-14 Rams.
Hey, you get an A for that, dude.
Yeah.
You get an A.
I think so. 39-10 was the final. Got the Gurley 2 touchdowns. Got the Beathard 2 picks.
The fact that you were going to change it to 1 Gurley touchdown and then went back to 2 is very impressive.
Because I saw the future, Kyle. I looked in the crystal ball. It was a little cloudy, and then it showed up. Mm-hmm. Let's see how Kyle did on this game.
Yeah, I've got the Rams winning 41-24. I like 3 Jared Goff touchdowns, 2 Todd Gurley touchdowns. I think Robert Woods gets in the end zone twice. I think Brandon Cooks gets in once. And I think C.J. Beathard maybe throws a I don't really care what the 49ers are going to do offensively. It's not going to be enough. Give me a George Kittle touchdown. He hasn't scored one in a while. And I like give me Garrett Selleck getting in the end zone as they take advantage of the Rams. He had a shot in the end zone, but he overthrew him. And I think Matt Breida finds the end zone again as well for the second consecutive week. Rams 41, Niners 24.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a B plus. Here's what stopped the A minus, because there's a lot.
I'm okay with that grade.
14 off on the one score on the Niners. That's fine. You did grab the Gurley touchdowns. Brandon Cooks. You also said he was getting in the end, so just his second touchdown of the year. So props to you.
Thank you.
Here's why I went from A minus to B plus, because you almost said C.J. Beathard. You said C.J. Beathard, I don't know, is going to throw a couple, and then you trailed off. You had it there. You almost said he was going to throw a couple of picks, but you didn't complete the sentence.
Yeah.
I can't give you the points.
That's fine.
Kyle, I can't.
Okay, that's fair.
I want to.
That's fair.
A B plus is a hell of a score,
I'll take
kid.
that. Yeah, no, I'll take that.
All right. I don't even remember what. Did I do?
Pat's Bears.
Pat's Bears. There we go.
You Pat Bears.
Pat Bears.
Just walk up to Bears.
Bears. 10 a.m. game, Patriots and Bears, maybe my favorite game of the week. I like what Dave Richards said. This will surprisingly be a high-scoring game. Not crazy high-scoring, but I think you're going to see a lot of points on the board here. The over-under here is 49. I think they'll be right around that. Let's go Tom Brady, 3 touchdowns in the air. Sonny Michel, a touchdown on the ground. Add in a Gostkowski field goal. 31-28. I like it being a close game. Trubisky with a couple. 31-28 is your final. Patriots win. Oh, this is tough.
Give you an A minus on that one too, man.
Got the Trubisky and the Brady touchdowns on the nose. Missed the Michelle touchdown. He got hurt. It was 38-31. I had it 31-28.
A lot of the numbers are there.
Gostkowski with a field goal. He had a field goal. I'll take the A minus on that because that's 4 very specific things I got right.
Yeah, no, the degree of difficulty was really terrific there. That's impressive.
Yeah, we're all the guys that rip on us for our bad nose or dumbass picks. Where are you at now?
Yeah, Dad.
Yeah, see. All right, here's Kyle Madson.
I had Titans.
I'm going to look at this Chargers-Titans game, and I think the Chargers are going to kill the Titans. It turns out the Titans actually stink. And I think the Chargers are gonna announce their presence with authority as a bona fide playoff contender and a bona fide Super Bowl contender in the AFC. I think the Chargers beat the Titans behind 4 Phillip Rivers touchdowns. Give me Chargers 31, Titans 6.
Wow.
Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
Your own Titans, huh?
Yeah. D minus.
No, you're being too hard on
I got
yourself.
the game right.
You got
Phillip
the game
Rivers had
right.
2 touchdowns, not 4.
Okay, buddy, but
the Chargers, the Titans scored 19, not 6.
You missed big on the score. You thought it was going to be a blowout. It was a 1-point game. But you got the winner right, and I feel like if you got the winner right, that's like a start of a D+. Like a baseline should probably be a baseline of a C. and then go from there. Kyle, I'm gonna give you a C minus.
Wow, thanks.
No,
That's very nice of you.
I think that's fair.
Thanks, man.
From the 510. When Kyle does Nostradamus, he sounds like he's ordering Taco Bell. I'll take 3 touchdowns and a burrito. It's from Rich.
I'm insulted by Rich there because I order my Taco Bell with a commanding presence. I'm in there. I'm like 2 burritos, 1 taco.
You say please.
No.
Wow. How many loogies have you had
Why
life?
would I say please to a person doing that job?
Wow.
That's a joke. I'm very, very polite always to drive-thrus, to cashiers.
Radio engineers, doctors, or nurses, anyone in the medical field, fast food and or waiters. Those are the 3 people I'm nicer to than my own family.
Always super cool to those people.
You want to tell everybody where you're going to go eat? You're going to go eat later today?
My home.
You got to tell me about it off the air. I got to tell you about this. You got to tell me about this place you're getting these soup dumplings
Yeah,
from,
dude.
too. All right, for Kyle, Madson, and Eunice, always doing a phenomenal job. We can just get her to quiet down.
I know, it's unbelievable.
Matt Barrows and Greg Vaughn as well, and all of you. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. Go Kings, go Kings. We'll see you in the morning right here on Sports 1140 KHTK. Bye, now.